So hello and welcome to this very, very special conversation with my favorite leader in world cricket at the moment. Somebody I've admired a lot, a very dear friend of mine as well. And today we want to talk about leadership. We want to talk about his philosophy of captaincy. We want to talk about bubble life. We want to talk about failure and how he deals with failure and how he's prepared a winning team. So welcome, Kane Williamson. Welcome once again. Appreciate you giving me time for this. The first thing came over the last couple of years, COVID, post-COVID, cricket has started now back-to-back series. In fact, far more cricket perhaps than during the pre-COVID times. How have you dealt with bubble life? How you have a young family as well. So how have you dealt with bubble fatigue and all of the questions that we are hearing at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think everybody is experiencing it slightly differently and finding, perhaps some more challenging than others. And there's obviously a variety of rules depending on where in the world that you might be. And in your own mind, you sort of go back and forth between feeling quite fortunate to be able to do what you do versus, the potential struggles at times with being in bubbles. So, and the more time you're in bubbles, I think the more you look forward to getting out of them. And we've seen that with having to manage players' workloads. And I do think that's a really important thing to be happening at the moment and moving forward if you're to continue in the bubbles. And for me, like you mentioned, with a young family, it's really important to find that balance. And it was great to have them with me for the second half of the IPL, and that does make a big difference. But the balance of that with scheduling and bubbles is key, because it's not, I don't think, a sustainable solution. Although in the meantime, it is allowing us to play cricket and allowing cricket to be on the schedule and to be on television, which there are more positives than negatives.
Just moving on to your philosophy of captaincy. I mean, I don't know if you read or listen or whatever. Everyone talks about Kane Williamson, the perfect leader. Can there ever be a perfect leader? I mean, and do you even get do you read such stuff that, your leadership philosophy, everyone talking about you on social media, does it impact you at all? Or how do you deal with yourself as leader? How do you view that?
Yeah, look, I don't think there is a perfect one, and if there is, it certainly isn't me. Look, it's it very much is a job and a challenge to be embraced, and you're there in a position trying to have the best impact as possible to the people around you. And so you can have your ideas and philosophies, I suppose, but ultimately it needs to marry up with the group voice and the group ethos, and you try and find a place there that you can operate in a sort of harmonious way, and try and take a wide view of things, I think is also important. But it's a challenge that forever exists that you need to address, and that in the sporting environment is often the changing of environments, the changing of personnel, and so it's an ever moving picture. But at the same time, I suppose those challenges that keep popping up keep having some refreshing elements to it. But yeah, it's also, I believe, important to have really good people around you that are really committed to the cause and the common goal. And here in the New Zealand team, we certainly have that. There are a number of leaders in the group and a number of in our support staff that play a big role as well.
I was having multiple conversations with Clive Lloyd on leadership, and he said the three things that, if you can break it down, one is vision, one is trust, and one is effective communication with players. This is how Sir Clive described leadership, and he was talking about how he forged a West Indies winning team in the 1975-85 period with people from multiple islands coming together. How do you see yourself? I mean, when you became captain to now, how have you evolved as a leader, and what is your philosophy of leadership?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's probably easier to ask other people some of those questions, but you do try and put your energy in the right, what you deem to be the right places, which is the growth of the group, how you want to see it track, which I suppose falls under the word vision, and know that along the road you have all these different bits and pieces that sometimes go your way and sometimes don't, but if you keep the scope wide and hopefully see it tracking in the right direction and continue to look at the bigger picture, then hopefully your decision making is less fickle and more aligned with that vision and the direction you want to go. But those things that were mentioned with Clive Lloyd and the West Indian side are always important. Trust and trying to make players feel like they belong and have a real importance in the group, and what underpins that I think would be the most important thing. So there's so many good words out there that apply, but what are the actions and behaviours that support it? So there's a real feeling of trust and a real feeling of belonging, rather than perhaps words on a whiteboard at times. So there's some difference in that. Yeah.
True. Kane, this is a question that is sort of everybody in the cricket world is intrigued by. 2015 final, 2019 that heartbreak, but final again. World Test Championship champions, 2021 final. What is it? What are you doing in ICC tournaments that other countries like India aren't doing? Or forget the comparison. What are you doing right? What is the mantra? How can you multiple ICC tournaments take the team to the final? Everyone wants to win. Somehow New Zealand is that one consistent team consistently making finals. You're doing something right. What is it?
Look, firstly, there are no comparisons, and certainly every team goes to events with hopes of going a long way and making finals and ultimately trying to win competitions. And for us, it's how we operate is quite, I think, specific to the people in your environment. So every team's a little bit different, and you turn up to events and so many different things can happen on the day, especially in the shorter the format, and the shorter the event. Means that perhaps results can be more fickle. And for us, look, there are no promises, and there are no, I suppose, black and white answers to some of these things. But for us, our focus is the bigger picture. And when I say that, you go to an event and perhaps you go some way down the line, or you make finals, and those are nice things to perhaps support what you're doing, but the challenge exists the next day, and the focus is still there, and so it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop after one event or one moment in time, and it sort of continues because it's forever moving and forever changing. And so for us and for myself and the other leaders that I work closely with, and us as a team on a whole, it's continuing to look sort of larger, wider, and are we tracking? And it's very difficult to micromanage one performance on one day, but can you put your energy into how it might look over a longer period of time that hopefully holds you in good stead and allows you to play your best cricket a little bit more often than not.
You're a great ambassador for our sport, and you've enriched the sport that we all love. Thank you very much, Kane Williamson, for your time.
Thank you, Bora. Cheers.